here we go. The first card you have for your past is the Six of Swords. And I'm sorry about that noise outside as well. I can't do anything about that. So yeah, the Six of Swords. So yeah, obviously this person's leaving, they're going away. I'm actually seeing someone running away, someone trying to run away from their problems. They tried to, I think, but I think everywhere this person went, they just took their problems with them, which is what happens. I know people in my real life who do this. They go to different countries even because they've left lots of problems behind, but they take their problems with them. Unless you've sorted out your problems, you're going to keep on having the same problem again and again. And I think they might have been saying things about you, actually, this person. I'm not sure if this is an axe, but they're definitely someone who you moved on from. You moved on physically from them. And I think that when you moved on from this person, you were alone, or you felt very alone. I'm getting this very alone feeling around you. And then I'm getting this feeling that they weren't alone. They had a lot of people around them, backing them up, supporting them. And so there's a big difference between the way you were at the end of all of this and the way that they were. Their experience was very different to yours. Now, I don't think they were telling all of these supporters around them the truth, or they might have been embellishing stories or something like that. I'm actually seeing one specific person who'd probably do anything for this person. You know, they tell them anything and this person would believe it. This is probably a parent, a family member, something like that. You know, they'd say to this person, oh, the sky's purple and yellow and silver and gold today. And they'd say, oh, yes, it is. I agree. Yes. You know, it's that kind of thing. And I think that you do still suffer a bit because of these stories or whatever this was that these stories that were spread around about you were. Things were spread around about other people as well. It wasn't just you. I'm seeing that as well. But I think you did everything you could to just protect yourself. And I think you probably knew that engaging with these people or kind of trying to give your side of the story or trying to stand up and say, hey, that's not true. I think you knew it wouldn't make any difference. And I think you were right. All of these people around them had their minds made up that this was the great person and you were the bad person or whatever. And I think you just thought, look, I couldn't be bothered with this battle. I'm not going to say anything. There's no point. I'm just going to move away from this. I just want peace. That's the kind of thing I'm getting around that. The next card you have for your past is Strength. So yes, I think a part of you wanted to say something. Of course you did. I can understand that. You know, you want to say, no, that's not true. That's not true. And I think it probably took all of your strength not to say something at this time. I keep on seeing these stories or a lot of misinformation being spread about you. And I think this might have been spread around this person's family. I keep on seeing their family standing around them, backing them up. It's like their family members were all kind of standing around talking about you because of what this person was spreading or their agenda they were spreading to make themselves look good or whatever. And, you know, quite often people do that. They kind of... they make themselves look good by making the other person look bad. I think that's what they were doing. It's not funny. I know I'm laughing, but it's kind of ridiculous, really. But I think this person played you as well. I think they did something. They messed you around a lot as well. Again, I think, this is what they were doing. They were kind of saying all these things about you to really deflect the attention off them. I think if the focus was on them, people might eventually realize what they're actually truly like. So they were trying to put all the focus on you. Oh, this bad person said this and that and this and that. I mean, it's ridiculous. I know a friend of mine was going through a divorce and her husband was saying ridiculous things like, oh, they made a cup of coffee and they didn't ask me if I wanted one. Like stupid, ridiculous, trivial things. I mean, whatever that. I mean, that's not a reason to divorce someone. I mean, it's obviously nice to have someone who thinks of you and brings you a cup of coffee, but I wouldn't divorce someone over it. It's ridiculous. So I think they were using lots of little silly things like, oh, this person looked at me a bit funny one day, and oh, they did this and they did that. But really what they were doing was way, way worse. That's what I'm seeing. But yeah, if this resonates, I think you were right not to jump in and defend yourself or say anything to any of these people. I think, they're always going to back this person up, no matter what they did. I think, I'm exaggerating obviously, but they could murder someone and they, oh, that's fine. Oh, the person got in the way of the gunshot. What a silly person. It's ridiculous. They'd make up some reason why this person was fine and they weren't doing anything wrong. So I think, yeah, especially one family member I'm seeing. There's one family member who's extremely close to them, who will just do whatever they like. I don't know if this is a parent, mother, whatever, but it's someone who might be a sibling. This person could do no wrong in their eyes. That's what I'm seeing, and it's very frustrating. But you've moved on, so just let them do whatever they want now. So the last card you have for your past is the Seven of Wands. So yeah, they might have a lot of people around them backing them up, this person, but they're always going to be fighting some of these internal battles inside themselves. The man on this card, he's obviously fighting a battle, but it's a faceless battle. We can't see any people behind these wands that he's fighting against. I'll lift it up so you can see. Yeah, you can't see any people, just the wands. So, whoever this is, they just need to stop running and spreading these stories behind them about how terrible the other people are. I mean, if you're standing there by yourself and every single person in the whole world that you've ever dealt with is terrible and you're wonderful, then, that says something. We can say, well, maybe one or two or something, but not everyone in the whole world. It can't be like that. All of these arrows must be pointing towards you, really. So yeah, but I think they have all these inner battles that they're dealing with, and that these inner battles are going to follow them around wherever they go. A similar thing to what I was seeing in the Six of Swords, and maybe this is why they're like this. I don't mean to blame people's family or their parents for their bad behavior, but they have this family, especially one person, who just backs them up no matter what they do, how they behaved. And they're probably brought up like that. So maybe that's why they feel they can get away with things now. Maybe when they're a child, whoever this parent was or whatever said to them, oh, you can take that child's toy away, that's fine. You can take that. It doesn't matter if it doesn't belong to you. You can do that thing. You can hit that person. They just let them do everything and justified it. So I think that's why they're like that. And again, I don't want to blame people's parents. If you're an adult, you're responsible for your behavior as an adult. But looking back, I can see the relationship that they have with their family, and this looks like it's an indication of that's probably what was happening. And obviously you're still thinking about this person, not because I'm telling you about them, I hope not. But that's probably why they're here in this reading, because you're just thinking about them and you're just looking back and you're thinking, this person made me feel like a fool. They made me feel like a fool. And that's the thing with you. I think Leos are very, very proud. They're super, super proud. So this is really what affected you, being played for a fool. That's what I'm seeing. So the first card you have for your present is the Seven of Pentacles. I think you might be working toward some kind of long-term goal. I'm seeing a year, so a year ahead. You might be looking toward achieving this in a year. It might be something that you want to do in a year's time, and I think you might be saving money for this, because I'm just looking at this bush next to this man and it looks like a stack of money stacking up, and he's looking at it and seeing, how is this saving? Is this enough? Have I got enough yet? He's kind of looking back to these coins. I think there are some setbacks. I'm seeing you putting a certain amount away, maybe every week or every month. But then, things come up and you have to dip into this inevitably. Things like, an unexpected bill might come up and you have to pay for it, or things might need repairing or something. I'm just getting this one step forward, two steps back kind of feeling around this. And I think that's how you're feeling. You're like, oh, I just put some money away to put toward this goal. Now it has to come out again because of this or that. But I think you will get to where you want to go. There are going to be some more setbacks ahead of you. I'm not going to lie and tell you it's going to be fine. There are going to be more in the future. But I think things are going to be going in the right direction. I think, as things do keep on growing, as this money keeps on growing, yeah, there are going to be setbacks, but I think as the money grows, the setbacks are going to have less and less of an impact on the big amount that you'll end up with. I mean, obviously, if you need to pay for a certain amount for something, it's going to have a bigger impact if you have a smaller amount there, obviously. And in the future, that's going to grow. So you might have a similar setback, but you'll have more there. You'll have more stacked up. So it won't be as much of a problem for you. And you will get there. You will definitely get there. So if this resonates and you're worrying about this, you will be able to do this. Things are still going to be up and down for you, but you are going to eventually end up with exactly what you need, maybe even more. I think this card might also be a message to you while you're saving, while you're building things up for yourself. Try not to compare yourself to where you think you are in comparison to other people, or where you think other people are. This man's looking across at this bush with all of these coins all over it, but there's only one coin in front of him. So there might be people on social media or something like that who might be doing things like showing off their holidays or their clothes or their cars or whatever they do. You know what people do on there. Try not to take any notice of any of that. You don't know how they got these things or what the real story is behind it. They might be in debt. They might have borrowed a car. I mean, you look at all these social media influencers on Instagram, not all of them obviously, but there are some, and they're like, I'm in my private jet. And it's like a friend of theirs works for the private jet company. They clean it or something. And they got them in to kind of sit in the chair and pose. I'm not saying that's what any of these people are doing, but sometimes I'm saying that to illustrate that what you see isn't always what the reality is. Now, it might be with some of these people, it might not be, but that's why you don't want to stress too much about that, because you don't know. So just concentrate on yourself, just concentrate on what you're doing if this is resonating with you. I've been like that before. I've been in a situation where I've had a really big problem financially. I've been really lost, in a big hole actually at one time in my life. And looking at that kind of stuff, when I had people who were like, oh, I just went away to France. I'm at the top of the Eiffel Tower. Oh, I'm at this villa in Italy. I'm sitting by the pool. I'm like, of course, I didn't say anything to them. I didn't do anything. I wasn't angry with them. I'd never say anything to them. I was just very quiet on there. But internally, I was thinking, oh, okay, time to turn this off. Time not to look at this for a while. So I just switched it off. So I'm not saying that you're like that, but yeah, if you start to feel a bit, not too good about yourself because of what you're seeing, there's nothing wrong with them achieving these things. Good for them, fantastic for them. But if you're feeling bad, switch off for a while. Just switch off for a while. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing in that. If this is resonating with you, it might not be. The next card you have for your present is the Empress. So yeah, again, be kind to yourself. Do what's kind to yourself. If you're doing something, if you're scrolling up and down and you feel hurt or upset, or kind of it's making you feel whatever you feel some way, just turn it off. These things are here for entertainment, for fun, to enjoy us. If we start to not enjoy it, I'm trying to say, it's time to turn off. We spend a lot of time on these things, so spend it looking at yourself. Don't compare yourself and where you are to where you think other people are. Right, so I'm not going to say any more about that. The other thing I'm seeing in this card is that I think someone might have an idea. And I think this might be a business idea or something about business expansion or something like that. If you have a friend that you can think of who runs a business, and this is resonating, if you know who this might be, I think you might be asked to help them. This is something new. This is like, it's something to do with a business of theirs, but it's something new. It's like a new sideline or a new product. Or a new thing to do with their business. It's definitely something new, and I think they might ask you to help them with this very, very soon. You know, the Empress is the ultimate mother. You know, obviously the mother gives birth, but sometimes she gives birth to new ideas and she gives birth to abundance. So if this does come up for you, which I'm seeing that it probably will, say yes to this. Say yes, definitely say yes to this. This is a beautiful, abundant card. So, you know, it has the potential to be really interesting for you, this business thing, and it'll probably bring you closer to this friend, which is really beautiful because the Empress is all about friendship and love and closeness and all of that kind of thing. And I think whatever this is will probably bring you some extra money as well, because she's all about abundance. And I was seeing that what I was seeing in the Seven of Pentacles was that, you know, you're trying to save money. So say yes to this. This is going to help you to get to your goal a lot faster in saving. The last card you have for your present is the Ace of Wands. So yeah, again, this is about this opportunity. This is a fantastic opportunity. It's being given to you, handed to you. Look at this beautiful hand handing this to you. This is really exciting. It might even end up taking over your normal work or your normal job eventually, not right away. Of course, you're going to have to put a lot of work into this, but this is something that, you know, you're going to be feeling really enthusiastic about this, and there's so much energy around this. This is the Ace of Wands, and this is really fantastic. You know, enthusiasm, working on this really quickly, wanting to work on this, abundance, all of this kind of thing. So yeah, again, say yes to this opportunity if it comes to you, if this all resonates with you. The first card you have for your future is the Hermit. So yeah, I think, you know, to be able to concentrate on your own, on these things that you're doing, you're growing, these things you're saving, your work, your normal work that you're doing, everything else, and this business opportunity that I'm seeing, if this happens for you, I think you're going to have to try to cut out a lot of outside noise and a lot of outside interference. This is going to take a lot of concentration. You're going to be dealing with a lot of things at once. And I think you're going to have to be a bit selfish for a while, not in a bad way, obviously, but you're going to have to guard your space and your time very carefully, almost as if it's a precious jewel, because time is a precious jewel. You can't get it back once it's spent. So you're going to have to spend it on really, really working hard, really getting this off the ground. So, you know, any people that are going to get in your way, call you all the time, you know, tell you to do this, oh, can you help me with this, can you help me with that, you're going to have to say no to this for a while. That's what I'm seeing. I'm also seeing in this card someone being almost forced to examine themselves and examine what they're doing, examine what their life. I don't know if this is going to make any sense to you, but I'm seeing a favor, and I think this might actually be about this person in the Six of Swords, because I'm seeing someone being denied a favor, probably because of something they've done in the past. You're not the only one that this person's hurt. I think they might have burned a few bridges with other people, actually. And that's what they do, of course. I was seeing that in the Six of Swords. They run away from their problems and they burn bridges behind them. And then when they try to come back and repair one of these bridges, if they need something, which is what I'm seeing happening here, it doesn't work. So I think they might finally be forced to think about themselves, which is what this Hermit's doing, being very introspective, thinking about themselves, going inside themselves. They're going to have to think about what they've done. I don't think this is going to be their immediate reaction. You know, when this person rejects them, said, no, I'm not going to do this for you. They're probably going to be angry and they're probably going to do something like blame this person. But I think after a while, they're going to be forced to think about themselves. That's what I'm seeing here. And this is going to be a good thing for them. It's going to hurt them, but it's going to be a good thing for them. And I think this person who they're dealing with, who's saying no to this favor, doesn't take any rubbish. They're quite fiery, actually. They're very fiery. They might be an Aries. They're probably a fire sign. But yeah, this person played with fire when they came back and asked this person, like, they really hurt them. They did something horrible to them. They burnt a bridge. They ran away. And then they realized, oh, I need a favor. I need to ask this person something. Maybe I'll go back and ask them now. And if this is a fire sign, yeah, they asked the wrong person. So I shouldn't laugh, but they are learning a lesson. That's what I'm seeing. The next card you have for your future is Justice. So yeah, justice is happening toward this person. I don't think they're going to be able to escape in the usual way. They're probably going to go back into the shelter of their family, because I think they're always going to do that. That's the natural default of this person, because they have these people who back up everything they say. But they're not getting this favor that they wanted. And instead of getting this favor, they're getting a blast from this person, this fire sign. I shouldn't laugh, but I'm just imagining, I'm just seeing this. I'm seeing this person. They come back to this fire sign and they say, can you do this for me, please? Can I borrow some money? Or can I have this? Or can you do this? Like, no. And then they really get really angry with them. That's what I'm seeing. So yes, the last card you have for your future is the Knight of Swords. So again, I can see them in this card as well, but I'm not going to say anything more about this person. You don't want to hear any more about them. I'm also seeing some kind of negotiation that you'll probably be involved in. This might be around work. It might be that you're going to be in meetings. I'm seeing flight in this card. Obviously, there's a lot of movement in this card. You might be trying to negotiate time off for traveling, flying to somewhere or something like that. I think you might have a difficult person to deal with when you're having these negotiations. Actually, I think this card might be a reminder to you to kind of stay in control of yourself and not be angry or bad-tempered if things don't immediately go your way. Because I'm seeing someone reacting a bit negatively to what you're proposing. But I think that, if you keep on to this, if you keep on negotiating in a calm way, in a kind of a measured way, you'll probably eventually get what you want. So stay calm if this resonates. Stay as calm as you can. Strategize. And maybe in a creative way, think very calmly, think very clearly. This outcome can definitely be positive for you, but you need to think about this very calmly and very clearly, and you need to make sure whatever you do, you don't lose your temper. That's what I'm seeing in that card.